Episode 13, November 17th, 2013. Alright, let's go. I haven't done an episode in quite some time. I've been a bit lazy, putting it off. Not as inspired, but here I am, rejuvenated. Let's go. So, there's been some cool things happening to invigorate the show. I got this sweet new shirt from a follower I'll be shouting out later. But shaving with Hamad, Wu-Tang style font. What's not to like? And I've figured out a good way to do live hangout shows on Google Plus, but I'll schedule to do one later with you guys, and you guys can talk with me and watch me shave at the same time. So, just keeping in Wu-Tang theme, on November 9th, 1993 was when their debut album, Enter the 36 Chambers, was released. Monumental hip-hop album. Don't need to explain much of its contributions, but I'll talk about things I like about them. So, I first got into all that Wu-Tang rap early high school years. You know, like any other suburban kid who progresses through hip-hop, they're amazed by it, almost enthralled by it. A slave to a lot of these rappers they cannot even begin to relate to, but enjoy it nonetheless. I'll talk about my favorite things from Into the 36. There's no other album like it. Can go on about cliches about its style, whoa, so raw, but you guys already know that. But I will talk about some of the tracks. First, the track I want to get into first is The Mystery of Chess Boxing. It's of course about style of chess boxing, which relates to one of the kung fu movies that they so often relate to. And it features Master Killer's first Wu-Tang verse, and it is one of my favorite ones. The other being Snakes from ODB's album, which tells a very great but fictional story. I'm not much a person that talks about rhymes and schemes, rhyme schemes and syllables, but that verse is wonderful. There's a lot that's already been said about Enter 36, but I never get tired of listening to that album ever. And even though its skits are some of them are very, things like Method Man, kind of fun, but they are seem very genuine. All the interviews with that college radio, I'm a big fan of it. The 7-chamber part 2, then where they said, "What's your style like?" And then they interject it with several kung fu movie samples. It's our secret. Never touch the Wu-Tang. So, I may get back to it later, but let me talk about another one of their albums. Liquid Swords, GZA's album, which I consider to be untouchable. Nothing like it. Labels is a song that no one, I don't think, has ever done, where GZA managed to fit every label under the sun's name into a song while getting away with dissing all of them. He's still untouchable. In that regard, at least, but he's nothing like he was then. Just the genius making his Dark Matter Space album, if that'll ever come out. Another one of my favorite songs ever is 4th Chamber. You just want to smash things while you listen to that beat, and RZA's verse where he sometimes goes offbeat, but it's very fun to listen to. Talking about snakes, olive oil, governments, conspiracies, Illuminatis. Some reference to it, but nonetheless very entertaining. But let me talk about my favorite member. Some of you may know as the Ghostface Killer. Every week, I decide which album I think about which album is better, Iron Man or Supreme Clientele, and I always have a decision. Oh, one week it's Iron Man. Oh, the next week it's Supreme Clientele. Well, as of this week, it's Iron Man. Next week, I'll probably be listening to more Supreme Clientele. Well, while I think Iron Man had the better guest verses, but Supreme Clientele is one of his key albums because that's how many people regard Ghostface and as the guy who can rap about anything and all. May not make any sense, but it'll sound freaking awesome. Noted primary, sometimes in some parts of the verses it might help the grain, don't go against the grain, and one and Malcolm. Those are my favorites off there, but then going back to Iron Man has many great tracks, and the one that's not was released in US versions was Soul Controller because of sampling issues, but it's a great one that most fans have not had a chance to listen to. Well, now on to some basketball. I may talk about some Wu-Tang later, but I promised one of my fathers I'd talk about the Bulls, and I will. Admittedly, I haven't watched them much this year, even though they are kind of fun to watch, admittedly. But I did watch their games against the Clippers, and the one where they sucked the life out of the Lakers after the first quarter. The game was done by then. But watching the Clippers games, I thought the Clippers-Wolves game, I thought it was an end for the Kevin Love game-winning three like the ones in previous years, where DeAndre Jordan fails to rotate to up top Kevin Love, three-point shooting master. That's a little too far, but it was correct for the context of that game, but nope, they did not. But it doesn't matter, they had the very dog puppy cute Ricky Rubio. Kevin Martin has been not a disappointing addition, to say the least. I believe they're playing the Grizzlies next, if I recall. That'll be a fun game as Kevin Love versus the other Bear, Marc Gasol, and Zach Randolph. That'd be cool. That will be fun to watch. I've been able to watch the Suns much because no league pass, but the times I do get to watch them, they are really still fun, exceeding my expectations by far. As for the Lakers and Clippers, the Clippers have a tough week. They go against the Wolves, Grizzlies, Thunder again. But it'll be a real plus for them if they can pull out this week 2-1. Or even 3-0, but I doubt that'll happen. No one's really asked, but to clarify why I talk about the Lakers and Clippers so much, it's because I live in the LA area. I have Fox Sports West and Time Warner Cable, so I do get to see them play quite often. Quite often, as in all the time, but still. I don't watch all the games. I watch all the games if the Suns were here, but that's not how it works. For some reason, this has been in much quicker shape today. I'm surprised, but I waited less time in between the shaves, so that's part of the reason. Well, we are getting towards end, so I will do some shoutouts. Let's start with Maggie, or 88 Mugsy 88, who contributed this wonderful shirt and asked me to talk about the Wolves. Little cute Ricky Rubio, and she has a love for athlete butts. So, thank you again for this very dope shirt. I will wear it in future episodes as well. The next one we have is Skylar J. Gilbert, who is a Lakers fan, who does not live in LA, like how I'm a Suns fan that doesn't live in Arizona. But he's also an avid College Hoops fan, if I recall. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do happen to block him on Twitter, he may give you $5 to unblock him to pay for your Ken Palm account. Hopefully. You still down for that offer, Skylar? I believe we're done with shoutouts for today. I wish I could get more shoutouts, so I'll let you guys know ahead of time and not as much short notice, so can gather more content for the show. Tell you guys ahead of time about when I'll do a live hangout and make this show something that you people can contribute to, not just me alone. You guys are part of the reason why I still continue this. I would have canceled this a long time ago were not for the shirts, shaving material, and messages of appreciation. So again, you fans are the reasons why I'm still doing this show, even though I should have more discipline, even though this is 13 episodes in, but I'll find it. Well, we're about done with today's show. So, I want to ask, what do you call it when point guard messes up a lob to the dunker on the fast break? An alley? Oops.